Losing weight is easier said than done, but intermittent fasting has been a lifesaver for many women and men wishing to drop the extra pounds and become healthier. Today's guests, Pauline Gishuki and I, discuss our struggles with weight gain and how we are losing weight using intermittent fasting. Let's dive right in. Hi, my name is Pauline Mwindi or Poppy Mwindi, and welcome to my YouTube channel where we talk about everything to do with health. We have aspirational stories, inspiring stories, the biochemists with a background in nutrition and
also medical background.
Yes,
Yeah.
We'll be talking about weight loss and fasting mostly, and we'll be sharing both of our journeys with weight loss. Pauline has managed to lose 10 kgs in 3 months, and she'll be talking about what she did to gain the weight and how she managed to lose it in such a short period. So let's get into it.
Okay, thank you, Pauline. So, like I told you, I have a background in nutrition and also a bit of exposure in the medical field, having been a medical representative for over 10 years. So, well, I know I'm still big, despite the fact that you're saying that I've lost 10 kgs. What happened is that, after I delivered my second baby in 2018, I also underwent a spine surgery. So it was hard for me to go into weight loss immediately.
Yeah.
So I had to wait. Of course, I had a CS wound, and then now the wound for the spine procedure was there. So I had to wait for about 8 months to go now back into health regime of trying even to cut on weight, because I first had to heal the wounds.
Yeah.
So it was difficult because I'm breastfeeding, I'm also trying to heal, and I had to continue with my normal diet.
Yeah.
I think also I was undergoing through some challenges, and cutting on food intake sometimes when you're stressed is not easy, because I had some challenges with my employer, and at the same time I had to leave my job. So all that came, and I gained quite a number of kgs based on
what's the number?
About 20 kgs based on the last delivery, because when I first got my baby in 2014, I also went back and tried to lose weight so that I could be ready for the second baby, because sometimes in between, if you're not careful, you could find you can balloon. Yes, you can balloon. I've seen some people, even by the time they're the third baby, you're at 130 kgs. You don't even know how to lose that. Where do you start?
So what was your highest weight?
The highest I've been is 95. Of course, when I was pregnant.
And for what's your height?
About 5.3.
Yeah,
of course,
that's when
I'm
you were short.
Yeah. Even now, I'm still on the higher side. Yeah, so I need to work on some areas to ensure that I go back to my recommended weight based on the health recommendations.
Yeah, what's that number for you now?
I think based on my height, I'm supposed to be about 63 kgs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been
and
95.
No, you are at what?
Okay, so now I told you for the last in the last 3 months, I've lost like 10 kgs. So I was at 93, and how I got there is early last year, I had some challenges. I was facing some court cases, and for some reason I forgot about myself and just focused on the cases, and I found that I could just eat without considering what I'm supposed to be taking. So I was just taking what everyone else in the house is eating. And I had a nanny who kept serving me tea with a lot of sugar and milk. And she was kind of elderly. She can't bring the tea, and I ask her to go back with it. So sometimes, out of just respect, I'll take it, despite the fact that I'm trying to emphasize that don't give me tea with a lot of sugar, don't give me tea with a lot of milk. Sometimes she'll forget.
And what would you take with the tea? Sometimes you take tea with a lot of mandazi.
Yes, mandazi, chapati, bread. For some reason, I stopped being the health conscious person I was, and I just started living for the moment. So by the time I was realizing that I had gained a lot of weight, I started feeling some, the numb feeling you feel on your fingers.
Yeah.
And then also when you sit down for long, sometimes you feel the pins and needles. That's usually a bad sign.
Yeah.
And it shows that you need to lose your weight, because of course also based on my family background, we have quite a number of people with diabetes, hypertension. So of course it was a wake-up call for me.
Yeah.
And I had to now go back to the to the system and just check what I've been doing wrong and at least correct.
Can we go back just a few steps and look at you mentioned that you had spinal surgery.
Yes.
What was that about? How
it happened? So when I was a small girl, I think in Kikuyu we say wanjaki hair. You're always up on the trees with the boys on the fence, being a tomboy. So I think I fell when I was about 7 years old. And when I fell, being in the village, and of course everyone was alarmed. My aunties around, some villagers came because I was unconscious for few minutes. So when I woke up and I started playing, one of the villagers said,
she's okay.
So since that moment, between 7 years and 32 years, there were some signs here and there that I was not okay. Because I tried telling one of the leading physicians in Nyeri that I could feel something on my neck. I could feel a discomfort, and then it began when I went to boarding school. Now the boarding schools of back in the days, you're sitting on a wooden desk. Of course, luxury.
They're not
So that's when I began feeling some neck pains, some discomfort, stiff neck and what. So when now I got my second baby, I think I gained too much weight. And also I'll use a recliner in the house. Those recliner seats? No one had ever told me that a recliner seat is not good for your back. So it also...
people actually, I also assume that they are the best.
Everyone thinks a recliner is the in thing, but if you have back issues, now for me, I really didn't know that there was that pre-existing condition that was really bad, and I shouldn't have been using it. So of course, now that I know, when I sit on a recliner, I have to have back support. To just ensure that my back is, the ergonomics. You have to ensure that you're sitting well to reduce the damage. So that is what that caused the
so after your
injury.
second pregnancy, that's when you had this surgery. Did also pregnancy make it worse? Because I know it relaxes the muscles and everything.
Well, I think it was all about my maybe my physical, sitting posture. Because with the first pregnancy, I didn't have any challenges. It was all about now the fall. Actually, they say trauma. Now the accident is what predisposed me to that surgery. The pregnancy had nothing to do with it. But now that I have an implant on my C3 spine, of course, there are challenges. Now, when I gain weight, that's why you'll see me having those pins and needles. So due to that condition, and also my lineage, my family members have diabetes, hypertension. So of course I'm forced to be more health conscious than before. Like now I'm trying to lose weight to ensure that I'm at the recommended weight I should be.
With the pins and needles kind of sensation, does as someone in your family, those who you have seen have experienced diabetes, is it a symptom they have experienced?
No, I've not had anyone complain about that, because now also I'm in a different situation because of the accident. Now, when I read through and see, I see that the pins and needles can be predisposed by different factors. Of course, maybe those diabetes, hypertension, and also maybe trauma, like the accident I had. But of course, weight gain makes it worse. I've realized when I lose weight and I go even all the way to 70, I never experienced that. But sitting, using, being on the wrong posture, like sitting on a recliner for long, I've felt the pins and needles coming. So I'm adjusting certain things in my life.
And you mentioned that you have the lineage in your family background. There's diabetes, hypertension. In what side of the family? Is it paternal or maternal?
Both sides. Yes, both maternal and paternal.
Your mom and your dad have these problems?
Yes, most of my family members have it. So
diabetes
and hypertension. Both. So both my parents have diabetes and hypertension. I think even my grandfathers, our great grandparents, they had it. So it's quite something that takes you back, and you want to take an extra caution, so that you may not end up taking medication every other day.
Yeah.
When you watch someone with diabetes, they're always on medication in the morning, in the evening. You see, sometimes they're getting fatigued.
Yeah.
By just that, even when traveling,
Yeah.
sometimes someone has to carry that insulin. Like maybe you're going to Mombasa, you have to have that. The cool, those ones you used to carry.
The cooler, you have a cooler of medication.
You're carrying your medication. It's not easy.
Yeah.
And if you can prevent it through normal ways, just like a normal diet, a healthy diet, exercise, or just watching what you eat. Because like I told you, in those 3 months before the whole of last year, how I gained my weight, I attribute it to a lot of tea with sugar. Sometimes you're there in the morning, you've had tea with bread, 10 o'clock, again you're having tea with a lot of sugar with something, 4 o'clock you're having it, you're watching a movie in the evening, you're having tea and it has sugar, it doesn't do you much good.
And that's something that a lot of people don't know, because there's a YouTube video I was watching about sugar and how the industry in the US, like the ones which make these foods with sugar, with a lot of sugar, the processed foods, they made it out like fat was the biggest enemy, but actually the biggest enemy to our health is sugar.
Sure.
What do you want to say about that? What do you think?
Well, I'll say like you have to have a balanced diet, because fat is important, sugar is important, of course.
But sugar isn't important. You can survive without sugar.
Yes, but you see, just the normal glucose.
Just the carbs.
That's
but
still
the
sugar.
processed sugar itself, we don't actually need it.
Yes, that one you can do away with it, or maybe occasionally. Because you find that, like, maybe after I finished campus, most of the time I'll do my lunch with a Coca-Cola or a Fanta. But within 3 years, when I realized the weight was coming really fast, because after campus I was at 63 kgs. And this is because most of the time you're walking, you're walking to class, you're walking, you're taking a matatu to go to Nyeri, everything, and then now you've started working, you have a car, so all the time, to the supermarket with your car, to going to see a friend in the neighborhood, you're using your car. So based on change of lifestyle, it can lead to one gain in weight and not notice. You may not be doing anything wrong, but you may need to adjust.
Even with age, your body metabolism is also changing.
Yes. So
is that something you've noticed with age? But it's just me. With age, weight loss becomes a little harder. When you try losing weight when you're in your 20s, it's different from when you're in your 30s. When you're in your 30s, it takes more work. Like, you have to exercise and combine different strategies to actually lose the same amount you'd have lost if you were in your 20s very easily.
Okay, I think also it depends with the point in life and the approach you're taking. Because like for the last 3 months, the only thing I did was cut on tea with sugar, and also I've been doing 1 meal in a day. So like now I've had nothing. It's 1 o'clock, and since morning the only thing I had is black coffee and a lot of water, and I still feel okay. I'm still energetic. I'm not feeling hungry. But what I do, I ensure like when I open my, I break my fast, which is between 2 and 5 o'clock, I have enough portions. Well, there's temptation sometimes to eat unhealthy stuff, like maybe you'll eat a chips, burger, depending on where you are. But most of the time, for the last 3 months, I've been doing a lot of githeri. Githeri has fiber, but people, you've seen in the group that we are in, IF, people even eat rice, ugali, and they're losing weight. But now, you cut on your portions. We are not saying that you don't eat enough food, but it all depends with the amount that you're taking. You're conscious that you want to lose weight, so of course you have to cut on certain things.
And also you reduce the high calorie foods. So if you want to get fuller, you have to eat something that will make you full without having a lot of calories. So that means maybe loading up on the vegetables and proteins and lowering the
high calorie content. And of course things like soda, milkshakes, those are not things you'll want to do when you're trying to lose weight.
Do you have temptations like to eat outside your eating window?
No, imagine I'm okay. But also something I did. When I started, of course, I had cravings. But I realized when I take green smoothies, it takes away my craving for those bad food. So I realized like sometimes maybe I'm passing by Chandarana or any place where they make healthy smoothies. I grab one and I'll have it. Any time of the day. Of course, mostly when I've my window for fasting is over. I'll take it and it makes me feel full and I don't want to keep snacking all the time.
I don't know, sometimes with me what I've noticed is that eating is so social. So when you go out to meet someone, the expectation is that there'll be food and they'll be sharing of food. So saying turning down food in this situation can be hard because you also want to participate.
Yes. You don't even just want to participate. It also looks bad. I remember one time in my line of duty, I bought some clients food and I had delivered. So I got there and I told them, you know what, me, I'm fasting. And so I'm not going to have this meal, but I want you guys to enjoy as we talk. And everyone looked at me in a strange way. Then I realized that they couldn't trust my food. So for a moment I had to, take back my words and tell them, okay, I think today I'm going to have it with you. And it's not African, So it was in high range. So I just had to take back my words. We had the lunch together with the clients. And sometimes you have to adjust your schedule.
And then the struggle with me sometimes I've had is like once you start that, once you break your fast, like it can become a downhill from there. You feel like, okay, the day is already wasted. So why not eat this and that, because I can start again tomorrow, and then again tomorrow you'll be like, okay, the week is already wasted.
No, it depends. I think also mental stability really, really matters. Because I've realized when I'm stressed or something is giving me headache, in fact, when I'm feeling really stressed, I eat. I don't recommend someone to go into fasting when you have stress. If you feel like something is bothering you, something is not right in your life, just eat a healthy meal. Make sure you're eating a healthy meal, because of course stress will affect your immunity. So it's not a good thing. There are some, as much as we are fasting, there are days when we have to adjust some things that we do, because sometimes we come across tough moments in life and we face them every other day. So for me, if I feel like, so long as I'm not like having sugar mandazis, I'll just eat a normal meal. I'll do my dairy, sometimes I'll add 2 eggs, I'll make sure I'm eating enough vegetables. Even within that, as much as I'm telling you, I've lost 10 kgs in the last 3 months.
It's not straightforward.
There are times like after I open my fast from 2 o'clock, I'll do chapatis, I'll do burgers. So
that's my weakness. That's something that for me it slows down my progress, because on Saturdays in my household, like today, would have been cooking chapati, and then the chapati that's cooked in my household stays like for the whole week. It's like we have chapati in the house for the whole week, so there's all that wheat in the house. How do you avoid wheat?
Well, even me, I've been taking pancakes when my kids are taking, but you see, I will when I close, when I stop my last meal at around 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. The next day I'm eating is at 2 o'clock. You see, so all this time I've not had anything, and I had loaded my body with enough energy, so I'm not feeling deficient of anything. I will not feel the need to cheat. But when I open my fast from 2 o'clock, I'll eat anything. So long as I'm not taking something like Fanta, something that is loaded with a lot of sugar.
And with a lot of fasters, they use coffee. They drink a lot of coffee to take you through your fasting window. So what do you take when you are fasting?
I've been taking coffee, like now I told you, since morning. I just had a cup of coffee, and I don't do the highly concentrated, just enough, just a light cup of coffee, and then with a lot of water. There are days when I'll just take, that sugarless tea we call dufia in Kikuyu. I just wake up and I just do dufia with little milk. Yeah, maybe to take me
So
until
that's
2
fast,
o'clock.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's not that strict, but I'm still gaining. I'm still
You still see progress.
Yeah, getting progress.
And you've said you do a lot of 1 meal a day. That's your schedule. But for me, I've done longer fasts. I like doing longer fasts because I feel like I get more benefit from them, like in terms of autophagy and everything that we are told that makes fasting good for us. Have you done longer than 24 hours? And would you consider?
Actually, 2023 is a different year for me. I didn't think that I could go a whole day without food all my life. So the first time I did the fasting, and I realized, wow, I can go without food for a whole day.
Yeah.
It was on 11th January.
Yeah.
This year. A neighbor asked me to take her to Karatina for some personal issue. And when we went to Karatina, for some reason, the Kikuyu food that is served in those functions, mukimo, pilau, and what. So we just looked at the food and said, let's just go back to Nairobi. So for some reason, from 8 o'clock to 5, all I had was coffee, and I got back home. I was still feeling okay. I realized, okay, it's possible.
It's possible.
That's how I started my fasting.
Yeah.
So now, besides, what was the question again?
Then, like, would you do a longer fast?
No, I've not managed to do a longer fast. I don't for about 24 hours.
Yeah. Would you consider to gain the autophagy benefits or something?
You see, people are different. I'm seeing in the group people even doing 5 days.
Yeah.
But I think at the point I am in my life for now, I think I'll rather just focus on the 18 hours, 16 hours. Because I'm also having some challenges that I'm trying to sort with my personal life. So for now, I wouldn't
do longer.
Do what everyone else
The first time I did a long fast, which was like, 36 hours wasn't too long. I was like, okay, it's just like a nice extension, 12-hour extension of the 24-hour fast, which I'm kind of used to. But then I went to the 48-hour fast.
Wow.
That was a challenge. The second day I was struggling. I was like, will I make it or should I just eat?
No headache, no.
I had a headache and I took the Himalayan salt, the pink Himalayan salt. But I was determined to see it through. So I felt shivering at night. I was like, hey. In my life, I've never gone for longer than even a day is a long time to stay without eating. So 2 days, I felt like I was dying. But I was like, other people have done it. So it's not like impossible.
Yeah, it's possible.
I was like, other people have done it. I'm not very different from them. I'm young, I'm healthy, so I should be okay. It's just my body reacting because defending itself because it wants food, but I have enough fat for it to sustain. Yeah.
So I think it depends with different people
and goals.
Because I watched my friend lose about 30 kgs in 1 year. She was at 94, big hips and what. And by the end of the year, she was now looking like a young, college girl. Yeah. So I'll say that it's good someone gives it time. Don't be in a hurry to lose it because you gained it over a long period of time. It's been maybe 2 years that you gained it and you want to lose it within 4 months. It's not even healthy. So just when you open your fasting, eat enough portions, vegetables, healthy fruits, and proteins.
Have you ever been tempted to try the unhealthy ways of losing weight? They you see those people who sell products on Facebook. They'll be like, this product will help you lose 10 kg in 10 days or something like that. Or those crazy diets. I once tried a diet of eating bananas only. I ate them for 3 days. I was so done. After 3 days of eating bananas, I felt constipated.
Ripe
bananas. So I felt constipated and the weight wasn't even going.
3 days is a short time for you to see a difference. But I remember in December, a family member of mine was not feeling well, and the doctor recommended that they need to lose weight because the doctor told them, now I need to put you on something to help you shed this weight. So I peeped and I saw the prescription and I asked this doctor, would you recommend that I take this product? And the doctor told me, no, you're a young girl. No, just try, conventional ways. You don't have to go to these extremes of taking medication because the dose was coming to almost 15,000 per month. So I just looked at it and I said, I mean, fasting is a cheap way of losing weight. It costs you nothing. Yeah, it's
just your mental fortitude
and discipline. And also I didn't tell you that I walk. When I have time, I go to the field and walk where everyone else. There are many places in Nairobi where people meet, walk in the morning, jog. I don't jog, I just walk. Sometimes I can even walk for 1 hour or 2 hours when I have time. And if I'm not doing that, I'll do a bit of yoga in the house to just sustain my flexibility. Again, you don't want to stay for like 2 months without having given your body any form of physical exercise. Then you go back into it. So as much as maybe I do not have time for exercise, I'll try do some bit of yoga in the house or walk when I have time. But I don't want to engage in any strenuous activity. Just walking, yoga.
And the thing I know, last year I tried exercise as a way of losing weight, and for me I wouldn't recommend exercise as a weight loss strategy. Exercise is good for toning up muscles, gaining muscle, but as a weight loss strategy, I think checking on your diet is much more effective, because I worked out in the gym for like a month. I gave up after the first month. I was like, I'm not going to pay again. And I don't see progress. And I'm working
out. But maybe you were gaining muscles.
Yeah, I think I was. I wouldn't dispute that. I liked the way I felt like my tummy area was toning up. But I also was feeling kind of fatigued, and it was taking up a lot of time, because I'd wake up at around 7. 7 I'd be at the gym, so I'd have to wake up at 6:30, go to the gym at 7. So by the time I leave the gym, it's around 8 something, 8:30. So the journey from the gym coming back home, I'd feel so exhausted from lifting weights in the gym. And then I'd rest a little before I start working. So I start working at around 10, and I felt like I was losing time in my work. I was losing a lot of time. I didn't want to commit that time to that. And I didn't lose weight.
Well, but maybe you gained muscle.
Again, I wouldn't dispute that. So as a weight loss strategy, I think it's much slower. That's why fasting works faster.
Sure. Because like I see people who are now committed to losing weight through gym. I live near a gym somewhere, and I hear people getting into the gym by 4:30 in the morning. So that by 8 o'clock they're in the office again. So it depends with your abilities. Because again, fasting is not easy. There are people without that discipline. So they'll rather be in the gym 4 times in a week. And again, also for some people, it makes you feel energetic. After having been in the gym, there's a way you just feel your body.
And there's something that will work for someone else and it won't work for you. So I think bodies, we have to recognize that bodies are different. Even with fasting, there's someone you will fast the same length of time and they tell you I do a mad but I'm not seeing any change. I have to do longer fast, and there are people who will fast for like 14 hours and they are losing weight. So it's mostly about learning your body and how you respond to different things,
and also being patient
with your body.
You don't want to you can't lose the weight you gained in 2 years for over 2 weeks.
There are those people who are like, I have a wedding to attend and I want to lose 10 kgs by this date.
I don't know whether I don't know well, it depends. Because again, also there are those ones I'm seeing going up to 6 days. I want to see how much they shed within those 6 days of fasting, because I haven't managed to do that.
I've done this 2 days. That's what I done, the 72-hour fast. The 72 hours was okay, because after you have done the 48 hours, advancing to 72 doesn't seem like a huge stretch. Your body is kind of used at that point. So I stopped fasting for a while. I was like, I feel fatigued. So I was like, let me eat normally and then go back to
to fasting.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good thing. Because I was also, I don't know if I told you about a tenant I had. I think he was only 30 years old. And he was overweight. You could see just by looking at him, hey, this person is struggling, even going up the stairs and down. So we were just called one day. People could not access his house. The last time he had talked to someone was about 9 o'clock the previous night. And we had to break into his house to now access him.
Yeah.
I think he fell into a coma in his sleep. He was taken to Nyeri PGH. And he
So
never
when
made it.
you broke into his house, he was still breathing.
Well, he was unconscious. Yeah, so he was taken to hospital and then to ICU, but he never made it. So weight is not something that anyone will want to be, associated
How
with.
how big would you say he was?
Hey, I think how old I
In terms of weight?
Hey, he had a big body, just by looking at him,
It was taller.
even the way when he goes up the stairs,
Yeah.
you can feel like he's struggling, the way he's breathing. Yeah, so I think it's good for people to
Did that
be
scare
conscious.
you?
Yes.
When was this?
That was 2 years ago. Yeah, and also, when you go to these government hospitals, you'll see even 30-year-olds with hypertension because of weight and poor lifestyle. Yeah, so people need to be conscious about it and, just work towards having a healthy regime in your
a lot
lifestyle.
of people say, kwetu tunatoshananga hivyo.
Yeah, but sasa
We are big brand.
ukianza kukunywa dawa, you're on your own.
I remember that joke people make. They say it runs in the family. But the truth is that no one in the family runs.
Yes. Not us. Because in some families you will see like even when over holiday season when everyone is at home, after finishing breakfast, we are now planning what to have lunch. Hata hatujamaliza I'm thinking, see, I mean, the food has not even settled in your body. Can't you think of something else? By the time lunch is being done, Shosho is talking, You're thinking, going to the farm to get something for dinner. So, and when you look at everyone in that compound,
they reflect their diet.
Yes. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I was talking with someone else and they mentioned when you are exposed to different cultures, because this is someone who lives in the US. And she mentioned that the downside with Kenyan diet is that it's full of carbs.
Yeah, it depends with which part of the country.
I feel like a lot of us, unless the Maasais, that they eat more proteins, we tend to eat a lot of carbs. And Kenyans, you can say you are eating healthy, but I think we'll do better like diversifying our diets and including more protein, especially protein and animal protein.
Very true. Like, when, of course, people always make fun of people in Mount Kenya region. You go to their weddings, someone has a plate, it has mokimo, it has pilau, chapati,
Carbs, only carbs. And a dash of
jahe.
The other things like vegetables,
yeah, it's just a kadot, So, but I've seen people from Western and Nyanza, they tend to have good diets, because they do a lot of traditional vegetables.
Even when they do the carbs, they are not overly processed. They are not processed carbs.
Sure. Because you'll see them even taking nuts for breakfast with lufia. Now for us, most of the time it's bread. You're seeing like lunchtime, people are eating maybe like cabbage, rice, and stew konawaru, So it's a lot. It's loaded with carbohydrates. Most of the time.
And with the lifestyles, maybe with people who are living in rural settings, it's not such a bad diet because they are working physically in the shambas all day and walking up and down. But if you are sitting in the office, these carbs are just sugar sitting in your body.
And now of course that contributes to bad lifestyle and someone having gained weight. You don't even feel good about yourself. Even the way the clothes fit.
And even something I have realized is also the way your face looks. Like you might not be that fat, but your face looks kind of bloated,
Yes.
with the diet that you are eating, because if let's say you are drinking, you are smoking, you are eating a lot of carbs and sugar, it shows on your face.
Sure, it does. Because even just for me saying the 10 kgs in the 3 months, just cutting on sugar in tea, it has really contributed to me experiencing the benefits I have in those 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have a dress that you were like, hey, hii dress lazima nitoshe?
Okay.
By fire, by force.
Yeah, actually, like these, I think 2 weeks ago, we had a session where we were attending a court session, and I heard the judge telling some of the lawyers there, and anyone addressing the court, that you cannot address the court without a coat. So I've had some blazers in my house that haven't been fitting for the last like 2 years. You know, when you gain weight, you tend to, some of us build the upper
the
body,
shoulders, and your blazers, but that even me with my blazers, they don't fit. Now noticing like some of the first clothes not to fit right.
Yes, because within that short period of fasting for 2 months, now I can wear my blazers comfortably. Yeah, that's something that makes me really feel nice about because you can't force a blazer. It's not a free dress or sweater. It has to be the right size. So those are some of the benefits, that there are some clothes that you value, and for some reason, because you've gained weight, you can't wear them, but you still treasure them. If you lose weight, then you can get back to them.
And also with weight loss, you don't want to be buying new clothes, because buying new clothes means that you have accepted the situation.
In fact, over the time since I got my first baby, some of the things I've been doing is like I spot a nice dress, then I'm like, that's a size 12, so I get it. Then now, like with the first baby, I lost weight through the gym, and even with the second baby, I also lost weight through the gym. I was very faithful, and I'm the kind who works out in the gym. How do you intimidate others?
Even with your spinal injury, you weren't scared of lifting weights.
There are things I don't do, like I don't do heavy weights, but I'll run, I'll walk on the treadmill, I'll cross trainer, I'll do those ones, and I can sustain even for 3 hours. But now when it comes to
like were you not scared with lifting weights in the gym with your spinal injury?
No,
or do you do those deadlifts?
No. There are of course there are exercises that I can't do with my spine injury. So I limit what I can do. I do it very well. Running, walking, treadmill, faithfully. And for me, another reason I like weight loss is just the way you look in photos. When you gain weight, someone can take a picture of you, and when they send it to you, you are like shocked because you didn't expect that you are that fat. Remember, like the photos I shared today? I was looking at that photo. I had taken it last year in October, and I was like, hey, when I looked at it like 2 months ago, I said, wow.
Who is this?
So, and then you see also, I think sometimes we also tend to be very conscious, because I've also seen big people who look good. But for some reason, when
it's yourself, because you know what you want, your goals for yourself, and maybe you are like your ideal self.
So now you start feeling like maybe there's something about you that is not right when you're big. But actually, sometimes I've seen even bigger people who look good. When I gain too much weight and I'm in my 90s, I'm shy. I don't want to wear something like a jumpsuit, you know what? But at least now, the way I'm losing weight, I feel like in the next 1 or 2 months, now I can go back to my jumpsuits.
And weight loss gives you that boost of confidence. You feel good in your body. And on building on that, what you have said, there are people who will keep telling you that you look okay where you are at, but the thing is that you are not feeling okay.
And there are also others who will make you, who will bash your self-esteem.
They tell you, hey, umenona. I've experienced those people tell you that you are okay. Wachia hapo. Then you start questioning, niachia hapo. I've not reached my goal.
There are people, like even the times I've been doing it, because sometimes I used to share on Facebook, then you post and everyone is like, now you're okay.
You're okay,
But you see, it should be a lifestyle. If it's going to the gym, make it 3 times in a week or 4 times in a week.
What is
because the moment you stop now again it comes back. So I guess with weight loss it's a lifestyle. It's something that you have to sustain all through. Otherwise the moment you let loose and start eating wrong things, stop watching your physical exercise beat, it comes back all again.
It comes back. And there are studies, I think, which have show that once you lose weight and regain it, it's worse. It's harder to lose it now. I think the body holds on to it more aggressively.
But I think also it's a mentality thing. Because also
with the people, there are these shows which were in the US, for fat loss. There was one called The Biggest Loser, and that one, with the people who are in that show, the contestants, most of them have gained their weight back, and some have gained even more than they had before, and now it came with health problems, because for shows like that they were losing a lot of weight in a short time, and it wasn't sustainable and it wasn't healthy. So it gave them some health problems. So I just pointing out those studies that show actually it's harder for most people once that yo-yoing with your weight can be harmful.
Yes, because also like now I saw someone saying that fasting can even cause cancer,
heart attack.
Yes.
Did you see that study for last week? They said like prolonged fasting, which I like. They said one of the downsides is that it can give you a heart attack. I was so scared. I was like, okay. Yeah.
Well, maybe it's good to consult along the way also. As much as people are taking up fasting, it's good to, of course, being in that kind of a group where someone is mentoring the people taking up fasting, and also take some time to educate yourself on the do's and don'ts, because fasting does not mean that you engage in an unhealthy diet, because at the end of the day your body needs to function normally.
And you should also listen to your body. Whatever you are doing with your body, you should be able to listen to it, because some of these things don't just happen all of a sudden. You have had warning signs and you ignored.
Sure.
You should know that your body isn't anybody else's body. It's where you live, so you know where the shoe pinches.
So you shouldn't be doing what someone else is doing. As much as if somebody says they do 24 hours, another 36 hours, and you're comfortable with the 14 hours, stick to your regime. But of course, also again, you keep fluctuating 14, 16 hours, 18. You don't want to get you don't want the body to get used to the timings in such a way that it now holds, So
when you were saying that, I just remembered I used to do very short fasts when I had my son. When I was trying to lose weight when breastfeeding, I used to do 14 hours and to 16 hours, and that was a long fast for someone who is breastfeeding. It's a long fast. You feel like so hungry by the time the 16 hours are over. You're like, wow. I am hungry.
It didn't affect your milk supply?
It did. But at that point my child was eating, so like something has to be sacrificed, and that was the sacrifice. I still had sufficient milk for him, but only that tipunguad. But there's still a lot of milk he couldn't finish.
Because there are certain things people have to consider when you're nursing a young baby. Again, don't get into pressure and you want to do what everyone else is doing. You just had a baby, just give them
your body is also healing.
Also allow the baby to breastfeed ample nourishment. You don't want to.
And also touching on that with fasting and breastfeeding, there's the danger of releasing toxins in the milk, because when you are losing weight, I think the toxins being released in the blood system is much higher because of the fats that are being burnt. So when the weight loss is rate go high, there are more toxins being pumped out through the breast milk. Because naenda kwa mtoto. For people who are breastfeeding, be careful with fasting and seek advice from your doctor.
Yes.
So anything else we haven't? Did you ever get bullied because of weight?
the same nanny who used to bring me a lot of tea with milk, she once told me that, wewe ni mnono kushinda huyu neighbor.
Your neighbor is fatter than me.
And I'm here telling you not to give me a lot of tea with sugar. You're the one who's pumping me with all this, and you're here comparing me with someone else. So
that comparison hurts. Yeah, even me, when I decided to lose weight after I had my son, one of the things that pushed me to lose weight was that kind of bullying that comes, even, and it's the other moms bullying you. Mnasikia wewe ni mnono, ati wewe huwezi lose weight. Ona venye ulikuwa unakaa poa before you had your baby. You can't, like, there are some comments that are made they are not very obvious, lakini unasikia ina target, like you can't, huwezi rudi venye ulikuwa unakaa, umekuwa mama sasa, kubali.
I know, but also I think we live in a society where people don't feel good about themselves, so they just want to reflect it on others. Because even me, from where I sit, like in the office, I could see someone has just come from maternity and I'm looking at them, I'm like, wow, it's a kilo, but you have to say it.
You don't have to say it. We have to extend grace to others, especially as mothers. If you have had your child and you lost weight, you don't have to remind people, mimi sija gain weight kama nyinyi. Our bodies are different. There's someone who will lose weight when they have kids. There's someone who will stay the same. There's someone who will gain a lot of weight.
Very true.
Na diets pia tunakula tofauti.
Very true.
And we have different stressors. Kuna mse yako stress level yenye yako nayo iko higher.
There are people who are struggling with things that they're not saying. So it's good to be kind. I think upbringing really matters. Because sometimes even as a parent, you can see a child who has potential of being toxic to others. And you can guide them along the way to just learn to be, nice, kind, appreciate others. You may have something negative to say, but you have to say it.
You don't have to say it. If it's not something you'd say to someone you love.
Don't have to say it to someone else. Yes.
Let's be kind to others. And is there other changes you have noticed with weight loss, or when you are gaining weight, that you'd like to point out?
Like now I no longer feel the pins and needles. The ones I was telling you that I felt when I gained, when my weight was at 93, 95, I no longer feel that. And like we've just come up to 5th floor. Coming all the way. I didn't, what we call it, like panting.
Panting.
When my weight is beginning to improve, those are the signs I pick. I see like I've gone up to 5th floor or 6th floor.
You don't feel exhausted.
You don't feel exhausted. And also, like for me, when I've gained weight, I tend to have painful periods. And when my weight goes down, I don't even realize. So those are some of the benefits. So I gained most of my weight in 2021. So one of the things I noticed was feeling hot. It would be a day that's not very hot, but I'd be sweating, and I'd ask my house help, wewe unasikia joto ama ni mimi? Niambia ni wewe. I just joke about it. Niambia wewe ni kunona. And then there are those people who have thigh gaps. Even when mtu amenona lakini they have a thigh gap. I think my thighs are close set together, so I'd feel your thigh band, like walking. Like I'm not very fat at that point, like 72, and I went up to 77 kg. Wow.
I was shocked. Then I'd feel your thigh band. So hiyo ilikuwa inanipush. Nasema I can't wear, and I'm someone who loves dresses, but with that thigh band unaanzanga kufavor trousers. They become an easier nini choice. They are vain reasons, but they push you to start losing weight because you can't wear what you want. So anything else we should cover? Is it how are we teaching our kids to adopt healthy eating habits? So was in any, like, we make the next generation to be more health conscious?
Okay, like for me, I love that my kids love to play outside.
Yeah.
From the word go, when I get my babies, like I've had a nanny who is always outside with the child. Of course, from the time they are from about, from when you come from hospital, the child has to be going out to get some vitamin D.
Yeah.
Maybe from 10 o'clock to maybe 11, twice in a day. When children get used to this kind of lifestyle of always being outdoor, they're walking, they're playing,
exercise,
hide and seek. But now when a child is used to just being on TV, watching cartoons, it's very hard to change that kind of
behavior
when they grow up. Yeah, so those are some of the things that we should try and encourage kids to play with others, to just be outdoor, engaging, even if they're just playing with matope and they're to containers. It's very important.
Yeah, I believe in the same. Like my kid should, like, on the days he's not in school, after they eat lunch, sometimes after he has breakfast, he stays in the house for a little while, then goes out to play, comes, eats lunch, again outside to play, then comes and relaxes a little before he goes to bed at around 6:30. So at that point they are already exhausted, and also on top of the exercise, there's also making sure that the food they are eating is healthy, because for kids they don't have a lot of say in what they eat. It's you, the parent, who decides. So if your child is eating anakula machipo and cakes, it's you as the parent who is to blame, because you are providing that. You're providing those things there in your house.
Yes, like I always try. From when a child is 2 years, you'll introduce diets like githeri, just for familiarity, because even for you, whatever you are not eating as a child is very hard to start
adapting as an adult
when you're an adult. Sometimes you'll make sure lunch they're having something like rice and kamande and some vegetables. They may not really enjoy it, but it's good for them to get used to eating that kind of food, because again, you can't just keep eating meat every day. That's not healthy. You can't get everything you need from foods with meat. Sometimes you have to do the kamandes, you have to do the rice, the beans, the githeri,
and you introduce vegetables to them.
Yes, from an early age, managu, broccoli. They can even eat a plate of managu without questioning from when they are young.
Introducing kids to healthy foods, to train their taste buds. Ndio wasianze kuja reject these foods when they are adults.
Ndo mango,
ni kidogo tu, si ati unalazimisha mtoto. Mtoto akisema like I don't want carrots, you just don't give up completely. Akisema hivyo, it's not forever and ever.
Maybe you start grating. You don't have to chop them. Now start grating.
And you can reintroduce meals zenye wamesema walikuwa reject. You just introduce them kidogo kidogo na reintroduce, not using for force ati wewe kama ni kuchape.
Because like my son doesn't like githeri, but recently he told me, nice well-made githeri is nice.
It's nice,
So he goes between well-made food and not well-made.
We are also trying to lose weight. It's the bigger picture is being healthy. It's not just about weight loss. We should keep an eye on health,
on what
and taking care of our bodies. As the Bible says, our bodies are temples of Christ, of the Holy Spirit.
Very true.
We should take care of them as well as you would take care of a temple.
Sure.
And what you put inside matters. Much more than what you put on top.
So garbage in, garbage out.
So that's my philosophy. What's your overall philosophy? That's my overall philosophy. I don't know what's yours.
Well, in regards to health, I think just take it easier. Don't be under pressure to do things like other people. If it's time to go to the gym, or maybe you're feeling strained with the gym budget, you can fast. There are many options. You don't have to do it like so and so. So just be yourself. Just.
Okay. So that's it for today. And thank you so much, Pauline. I think we'll have other discussions some other time. I hope you've had fun. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them at the bottom of this video.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.